Hey guys, it's Couples Retreat Week and this is my favourite part of the Mafs season because this is when the dramas really start to come out. So I've been really excited for these episodes and yeah, so let's just get into it.
Steven was getting his hair done and I could see my husband flirting with the hairdresser.
So I want to start with Michael and Steven. Now they had a publicity shoot to go to, so they went to the hairdressers and Michael could see Steven flirting with the hairdresser. And then later on in the car, he finds out that Steven was then texting the hairdresser. So he got his number and they were texting each other.
I could see him sitting back texting, smiling, and I was just like, oh, like, who are you talking to? And he was talking to the hairdresser.
And then Steven tells Michael, oh yeah, I've had more of a spark with this guy right here than I've had with you within the experiment. Now that's going to make Michael feel like crap.
I can't apologise for having a spark.
Now, Steven, he's saying he shouldn't have to apologise for having a spark, but I don't think he understands. The whole point here is you've literally flirted with somebody else in front of your husband. I mean, you're in this experiment. You're supposed to be finding a husband, you know, and then you're actively flirting with somebody else and then you get their number. That's just rude and disrespectful. You don't do that sort of thing. If you don't have a spark or if you're not attracted to someone, that's fine. You know, and talking about that is fine as well because you need to be open and not string people along. So I have no issue with you not having a spark with Michael because you guys have only just gotten to know each other. You're not going to develop a spark straight away. Like some people, take Timothy for instance, it's going to be a slow burn, you know, but you don't want to put any effort into it and you're just flirting with other people. I mean, that's just rude. So obviously Michael's going to be very hurt and upset, and I just felt really bad for Michael about this.
I feel lied to. Feel disrespected. I'm confused, I'm upset, I'm hurt, I'm angry.
And let's not forget, this is the second guy that Michael's been matched with. The first one didn't even make it to the altar, he ran off. And now this one's saying, you know, I have no spark, and he's actively flirting with other people. You know, I mean, Michael, I just feel really bad for him, you know, because he seems like such a nice guy. He really wants to find a husband. You know, he wants to try and put in the work as well. You know, he's saying, you know, okay, we try and put in some work, you know, don't just say, oh, we have no spark and then just forget about it and try and flirt with other people. You know, he wants to put in the work. That's the whole point. You're in this experiment to try and build something. And sometimes you have to work on the spark. You can't just expect it to come out of nowhere. You know, it's okay if you don't have these feelings now, but just communicate them and give it a go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel really bad for Michael right now, you know. And Steven, yeah, I don't know. I'm not happy with how he's acting. I'm really not. And I really feel Steven should have apologised for the flirting. I really feel like he should have, because that, to me, I found very rude. I just find that rude. Sorry, I do.
I'm super keen to just give this everything these next few days, building that trust, building that friendship.
Now, when they're at the retreat, Steven has asked Michael to come with him because he wants to try and rebuild their relationship and become more friends. But to me, I find this kind of confusing because you're not here for friends. You're here to try and build a relationship. So I'm not sure what he's doing. I mean, to me, it's sort of looking like he's playing games at the moment.
The way I spoke about it was all very definite. When you use language like that, obviously it hurts you to hear that.
And then the next day in the pool, he then comes up to Michael, you know, he's like, oh, I'm sorry for the words that I've said. I regret what I've said. You know, I just want to take things slowly, want to take things one day at a time. And look, I understand people can say things, you know, and regret them and everything, but right now it kind of just looks like you're playing games. And I still haven't seen you actually apologise for the flirting. I mean, to me, that's a bigger deal. I don't know. Michael's not saying much about that part. So maybe he did apologise off camera, but I don't know. I would have liked to see that because to me, that's a red flag that you would actively try and flirt with somebody else when your partner's standing right there. I just don't like that. So anyway, I don't know what to think at the moment. You know, right now, I'm not liking this behaviour. We'll see. Maybe they'll turn it around. I mean, people sometimes do. It is early days for them. So I understand that, you know, feelings can be rocky, but the flirting thing has really pissed me off a bit. So I hope he doesn't muck Michael around because I really like Michael and he's already been mucked around once before and he doesn't need it again. So I don't know. We'll just wait. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, let me know what you think of those two anyway.
It's not that hard to have your partner's back. It's not that hard to be like, hey, don't speak to my wife like that.
Next, I want to talk about Sarah and Tim. Now, with those two, they have had a pretty rocky relationship. You know, they've been up and down. And I thought they were starting to go back up again because they seem to be more positive. But obviously they had another setback, you know, when everybody was talking about Michael and Steven's situation. You know, Sarah, she was having her opinion on the subject.
Every time I sit at dinner parties and things, Sarah, you always have the first thing to say.
You are rejected, and I get that, but you don't have to lash out at everyone.
And Michael wasn't a fan of the opinion because it was more in favour of Steven. And I get it, you know, Michael, he's sensitive at the moment, he's upset, so he snapped at her, which, you know, he didn't need to go that far because she was entitled to her opinion. But the whole point of this episode highlighted the fact that Tim didn't stand up for her in that moment. You know, she was being yelled at by somebody and he didn't actually say anything. He just stood in the background and watched it happen.
I need Tim to step up and support me and say, don't come for my wife.
Now, Tim is a guy, he can't do confrontation. He doesn't like it. But I can understand Sarah. She's wanting a guy to, you know, at least back her, you know, be there by her side, you know, maybe console her afterwards, make sure she's okay, you know. Stand up and just say, hey, you know, you don't have to be yelling like that. You know, he doesn't have to get into a full-blown argument. I don't think she wants that. She just wants someone to say, hey, you know what? That's not cool. Let's calm it down, you know. She just wants someone to support her and be there for her. And Tim, I mean, he's feeling like everything she says is nitpickety and that, you know, he's not good enough for her. So, you know, he's got that in his head. But he needs to see that for this instance, for this situation, I feel like, yeah, he could have, he's her partner. You know, I feel like he could have stood up for her in that moment and just said, hey, you know, Michael, you don't have to yell at her like that. If you don't like her opinion, that's cool. You don't have to yell. He could have just said that, just to show that he has her back, that he supports her. So, you know, I feel like they need to have some more communication there. And I'm not sure how their relationship's going to go and progress. But obviously they lack that kind of middle ground.
You just don't know who you are anymore.
Next, I want to talk about Timothy and Lucinda, and I love these two. I really love these two. Now, they're in a group, they're playing this little get-to-know-you game, and a question was asked to Jaden, what's your biggest fear? And he said, losing my parents. Now, obviously, this triggers Timothy off. You know, he's lost all of his family. He has no one, you know, and Lucinda can see he is so upset, and, you know, she takes him aside. She wants to have a chat just to console him, you know, to try and see, you know, how he's going.
He's so brave. He's so... I actually can't do this.
Then he ends up breaking down and he says he feels like crap, and he says that he hasn't just lost his family, he also feels as though he's lost himself. And, you know, it gets too much for him, so he has to remove himself and just take a bit of a moment. And when he does come back, him and Lucinda have a big, huge embrace, and it's just beautiful to see them connecting like this, and to see Tim being able to be emotional with Lucinda because he knows she's not going to judge him, you know. So I feel like this was another big step forward for their relationship. And yeah, I really love just seeing these guys grow and grow each time. And even though it was sad to see, it was also so touching, you know. Lucinda, I mean, she's just such a beautiful soul, and Tim, I just love him more and more. So I love seeing these guys, and I can't wait to keep seeing them.
By you feeling like I liked you more than you liked me.
Oh my God, I just got railed. I think we're equal.
Lastly, I want to talk about Tori and Jack. And right at the beginning of the episode, before they even enter the retreat, Jack, he's reassuring Tori because she's obviously feeling insecure about the commitment ceremony when he said, you know, he thinks her feelings are greater than his. And he's like, now he's saying, no, we're 50-50. I just had a miscommunication. And Tori, she's obviously bought this, and, you know, she's back on the Jack wagon again. I don't know. I mean, I get that it can be a lot of pressure, but still, I mean, he said it. He seemed pretty calm saying it. So I don't know what to think about that.
I could have more feelings for you in a week's time.
Yay.
Now, at the retreat, you have Tim, Sarah, and Lauren, and they're having a bit of a gossip session. You know, they're swapping stories, they're chatting, and guess who's the main topic? Why, it's Jack and Tori, of course.
I smell a rat.
Yeah.
Do you smell a rat?
Yeah.
Now, they're all discussing how they're worried for Tori. Even Timothy, who Tori hates, you know, he's saying he's worried for her as well. Now, they're all saying that, you know, what they witnessed on the commitment couch, they're concerned with how Jack said, you know, he's worried he's going to let her down. That is foreshadowing that he's going to plan to dump her in the future. So they don't consider what he said to be good at all.
Like, he was really into Tori.
Why in week 1 would Jack show me pictures of his ex and how hot she is?
Now, this is where Timothy drops a little nugget, and he says that in week 1, Jack is showing pictures of his ex to him and basically showing how hot she was. Now, I'm going to assume the ex that Timothy's referring to is the one that's been all over Instagram saying how he was dating her before and, you know, showing little pictures of them together. So I'm going to assume it's her. I don't think it's going to be another ex. So yeah, I'm going to guess it's that girl there. Now, I actually wanted to ask you guys, do you guys remember this happening in week 1? Because I don't actually remember it. I don't know why. I'm having a bit of a mental blank at the moment. So I don't remember this happening. So I don't know if this has been shown or if this is just coming to light now. Because if it is, then Timothy, what have you been holding out on? Like, why didn't you reveal this sooner? And if it has, then, and I've been dense, let me know, because I actually don't remember it. I really don't. So this has shocked Laura and Sarah, you know, because this is the first time they've heard of it. And this has prompted Sarah to speak up about a couple of incidences she's had with Jack.
Tim and I were going to the spa, and we were walking past. He said hello to Tim, and then as I was walking away, he kind of tapped my butt.
So the first incident, Sarah is with Tim, and they're going to the spa in the apartment complex, and Jack is walking past. And as he walks past, Sarah feels that he's tapped her bum. Now, I'm going to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, only because, hear me out, we don't know the full context. How wide was this corridor? Was it a thin corridor? Was he swinging his arms? Because for me personally, I have accidentally, you know, grazed people here and there because sometimes I swing my arm about without thinking and I don't realize someone's near me and accidentally go boom and I'm like, oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. So I don't know. I don't want to start accusing him of sexual harassment if it was just an accident like that. You know what I mean? If it was more than that, then, oh, you know, not cool. But I don't want to jump to that conclusion. Sarah herself wasn't sure because it was like a tap. I don't know how big was the tap. Was it a big tap? Did he squeeze it? I don't think he did. Otherwise, I think she would have been more vocal, you know? And Tim was also right there. Is Jack the kind of guy to be, you know, brazen enough to actually grab another girl's bum with her partner right beside her? I don't know. Some guys, maybe they like to get a bit risky. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious if any other girls come forward and say similar things or not. But for now, I'm not going to just jump on the bandwagon if he is doing it or not, you know, without the full picture and without hearing Jack's side. You know what I mean?
And when he apologized to me, he kissed me on my neck.
Jack kissed you on the neck.
Now for the second incident. So here, Sarah's at the dinner party with Lauren and Jack has come to apologize to them both. And Sarah says that when he apologized to her, he kissed her on the neck. Now this one isn't just a tap, you know. Obviously a kiss on the neck, it's harder to excuse, right? Again, what was the context here? You know, was he aiming for her cheek and missed? Was he drunk? Did she turn her head at the wrong time? You know, it's weird. And the other thing I want to point out, and obviously I'm not saying Sarah's in the wrong. I'm not calling her out or anything like here. I'm just saying I like all the context. Because this is a Mafs dinner party they were at. Now, the one thing about Mafs dinner party is they're recording everything. Nobody is left alone at these parties because they want to catch all the drama. So if he kissed her neck, where's the footage? Why haven't they shown this? I want to see the footage. Has it been shown? Have I actually missed it? Like, I have to go check that episode out again because I feel like maybe I've missed something. Because I feel like everybody would be on it if it was shown. They would have filmed this. There's no way they would have let Jack and Sarah go off alone. They wouldn't have done it. The camera would have been right in their faces. And if Jack knows that the camera's in his face and he's still kissing her on the neck, then what the hell? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what to think in this situation. I want to see the footage. I want to see, was he aiming for the cheek and slipped, or was there more to it? You know what I mean? I want to see it. So then I can like see if this was on purpose or an accident. And yeah, I'm not saying Sarah's lying. No way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why haven't they shown it? I want to see this. I mean, I think you guys want to see it too, you know?
That is 100% a dog act. you got to get pretty close to somebody to kiss her on the neck or grab them on the ass.
And if he did aim for the neck, was it intentional? Did he linger? You know, did he do something else? Was there more to it? Maybe it was even worse than what she's saying. I don't know. I want to know. I want to know the full picture here, you know? So for me personally, I'm not going to 100% accuse Jack until I get the full picture. You know, there's always two sides to a story, and right now I don't know Jack's side. I want to hear his explanation. So, and I want to hear and see his face and see how he reacts to it, because that can tell a lot, you know? So I'm curious how he reacts to these, if he gets defensive or not. I mean, that might tell a bit. And I mean, I want to see the footage. There's got to be footage. You can't tell me they didn't record this. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. There's footage there and they're not showing it for some reason. I want to see it.
I'd rather do it when Jack's not around. Otherwise, he's going to deny it, she's going to shut it down, and we're not going to get anywhere.
Now, they're trying to decide when to tell Tori, because they don't want to do it in front of Jack, because they're worried that if they do, he'll intervene and then she's not going to listen to anything they have to say. So they want to tell us so she has a chance to think about it herself and come to her own conclusion. Now, they decide to do this at the boy-girls night. So, obviously, we don't get to see that. They decide to leave us on a cliffhanger. So I haven't seen that yet. So yeah, I can't wait to see that part and see her reaction, and I want to see them confronting Jack. So I can't wait to see that too.
Is Tori your physical type?
She's enough for me, 100%.
Now at the boys' night, Jack is questioned, "Are you attracted to Tori?" And he responds with, "She's enough for me." Well, again, he's not answering properly. And it just sounds like, what, are you settling or something? You know, what do you mean she's enough for you? What does that mean? You know? Like she meets the bare minimum? Again, you're not making any sense.
Do you see her being the mother of your kids?
All I can say is I'm open to having children with someone I fall in love with.
Then he's asked, "Do you see Tori as the mother of your kids?" And his response, I had a double take because I thought Ben was in the room. Because he says, "Oh, I'm happy to have kids with someone I fall in love with." I'm thinking, did Ben come back and I wasn't aware? Because this is his answer, you know? I mean, you're supposed to be falling in love with Tori. So do you see her as someone that could be the mother of your kids? Or what? Like, I mean, what the hell? Now, when Jonathan asked the same question to Tori, he says that she answered immediately saying, "Yes, I can definitely have kids with this guy." I mean, that's a completely different answer right there for sure.
When I asked her, "Is Jack the father of your children?" and 100% I'll have his kids tomorrow.
So once again, this shows how Tori is more invested in this relationship than Jack is. And I mean, are we even surprised at this point? Because I'm not.
Are you in love with Tori?
Of course I'm not.
You don't have to be in love, though.
I'm not in love with Tori, no.
Tim now asks, okay, so you want to have kids with someone you love, then are you in love with Tori? And Jack, I mean, this is the first time we've seen a clear-cut answer from him. He's like, no, 100% no. So I mean, it's fine. He doesn't have to be in love with her. You know, they've only known each other for a short period of time, but it's interesting to see how decisive he is with that answer and how cryptic he is with everything else, you know? So yeah, I just found that interesting. I don't understand why it's so hard for him to say, you know, whether or not he is attracted to Tori, whether he sees a future. Like, why is he being cryptic everywhere? But he can say definitively, no, he's not in love with her. But he can't say no to anything else. You know, what are you scared of? You know what I mean?
What's your limit? Like, what would be your deal breaker?
Like the ultimate deal breaker.
Yeah.
So the last scene shows Lauren and Sarah trying to figure out when to tell Tori what's going on. And then Lauren asked Tori, what would be your deal breaker? And Tori, we never get to see her actual response to this, so I'm curious if I see it in the next episode. But it cuts to Lauren then saying, you know, we're just going to take Tori aside for a chat. And I thought this was really good, you know, that Lauren's taken her away from the group, so, you know, it's not shown to everybody in the group all at once. So I thought that was really good. But obviously, the show ends there and leaves us with the cliffhanger, so we have to wait for the next episode. So I'm dying to watch the next episode, so I'll be getting on board with that straight away. It looks like the next episode there's going to be secrets exposed, and I can't wait for it. I hope to see Jack be confronted as well, because I want to hear what he has to say. And yeah, I can't wait. Obviously, I'm a little behind, so I've got to catch up. But yeah, I'm going to get there, and I can't wait to discuss it with you guys. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.